Hey everyone, we're the Mortels. I'm Danny, this is Mike, and we have Granger up here in the bed. We just wanted to give y'all a 1-year review of our Scout Olympic camper.
Yeah, so we got our Scout Olympic camper last October, so we've had it officially 1 year. We have put 22,000 miles, over 22,000 miles on the truck. We've camped in 15 states, driven through a bunch more, and we've probably stayed in the camper roughly 100 to 150 nights. We've really put it to the test. We've gone back some very secluded roads, Forest Service roads, done some off-roading trails in Sedona that we probably shouldn't have done, and really have kind of beat up the truck and camper, and so far it's been holding up great. So we wanted to do a quick review and kind of show you how the camper is holding up after 1 year of use.
So we're going to run you through some of the things that we love about our Scout camper, and then talk about a few things that we think could be better. And then at the end, we have a pretty exciting update for you all, so make sure you stick around. And on that note, also make sure you like and subscribe if you like this kind of content, and we'll make sure that we give you more.
So one of our favorite things about the Scout camper is that it is a hard-sided camper. Initially, we were looking at different pop-up options, and they had longer lead times, so we ended up going with Scout and are very glad we did. Having no setup is amazing, so when it's raining, snowing, we can just hop out and hop right in. We don't have to worry about popping the top at all. The other nice thing about having the hard-sided camper is it is great for winter camping. Winter camping in the Scout has been amazing. With the hard-sided walls, it holds in the heat really well. And then we also have the Newport by Dickinson fireplace, which has been absolutely awesome to have. It's got a real flame in it, so it puts off a nice ambiance. Puts off a nice ambiance. Just feels very cozy, especially on a snowy morning with the fireplace going. It's really comfortable in here, and it keeps you nice and warm even on single-digit nights.
Yeah, it's one of our favorite things, and we tell anyone who is interested in getting a Scout that you should not get the fireplace.
Yeah, because the fireplace is an option, it's an add-on. It is a little pricey, but for us, if you're doing any type of cold weather camping, it is 100% worth having.
Granger's being a little grumpy to people outside.
There's a doggo. Another benefit to having a hard-sided camper is, one, the window locations. So because you don't have a pop top, the window locations can actually be at a good height for you to be able to look out comfortably as you're sitting at the dinette. So as we're sitting here eating, working, whatever, we have really nice views out our windows, where on pop tops you either have the window down lower or up higher in the fabric. So that is one really nice thing about these hard-sided Scout campers.
It's another one of Walker's favorites too.
Yes.
He likes to hang out by the window and watch what's going on. Sometimes he likes to jump out the windows, so we have to be careful. Make sure we have the screens up if we're not keeping an eye on him. But yeah, they let in a lot of light, and they're just really good windows.
Yeah, and they're nice and large, so when you do open them up, you get a good cross breeze. There's plenty of airflow. The second nice thing about having the hard-sided camper is the full-size RV door. So on most pop tops, the door's pretty short, and I'm 6'5", so having this full-size door means I only have to duck a little bit to get out, and I only hit my head every once in a while. But it's much nicer than having one of the smaller doors that you gotta climb through.
Speaking of, another bonus thing that we like about the Scout is that he can stand up without bumping his head inside and without having to adjust anything, so he can kind of be his tall self.
Yeah, the inside height of this camper is exactly 6'5", which is what I am. So if I'm standing up perfectly straight, I do touch, but most of the time I do slouch a little bit, so it's fine. That is for the Olympic. The Yoho is a little bit shorter. Our friend Brett, who has the Yoho, his Instagram is Taco Scout. We've gotten in his a couple times, and his is a little bit shorter. I want to say it's 6'2", so I do have to duck in his camper. And then the Kenai, I believe, is an inch taller, so it does feel a little bit more roomy in that one.
Another thing we love about the Scout was also an option to add on, which is our Dometic refrigerator, or Dometic, what is it called?
It's the Dometic CFX 75.
That. So it's dual-sided, which means that we can have one side set to refrigerator temperatures, and then one side set to either freezer temperatures, or even we just use it as a pantry sometimes for shorter trips. it really has come in handy, and it's the first time that we've had an electric refrigerator type setup versus a cooler, and it's really nice not having to deal with ice and just being able to set it at a temperature and kind of let it go. Another option that we got with our Scout that we are really glad we did is the rooftop tent, which you can access through this hatch here. And also there's a ladder that you can attach to the outside. We usually just use the indoor hatch because it's simpler for us, but we really love having that extra space because, I mean, we call it our spare bedroom for our friends who come and travel with us sometimes, or if we're set up somewhere for a long time, we'll pop up the rooftop tent so that we can have extra space and we can kind of spread out a little bit more. Walker really likes the rooftop tent, so he's also a big fan.
And when we don't set up the rooftop tent, Walker's always clawing at here trying to get up there, so it's just one of his favorite places to hang out.
For sure.
One of the great things about the Scout campers as well is they're very simple. So this is our first camper. Before this, we had a truck with a canopy on the back with a simple drawer system that we were sleeping on top of, and that was a very simple setup. This is like the next step up. So we have a nice big camper, but there's no gray tanks, black tanks that you have to worry about. Winterization is super simple, and it's just been a great first truck camper, and overall it's been great.
Yeah, I would say that this isn't the camper for everyone. Like, if you're looking for something with all the bells and whistles, running water and an indoor toilet and indoor plumbing and things like that, then this isn't really probably what you're looking for. You can customize and kind of make your own adjustments and things along the way, but this is really for folks who are looking for something simple, lightweight, something that you can carry into the backcountry, and that's exactly what we were looking for, so it's perfect for us. And the last thing on this list of things that we love about our Scout, which doesn't particularly include everything, just some of the big things, is just the aesthetic of it. And we get a lot of compliments from people who just think it looks so nice. Like, from the outside to the inside, it's pretty crisp, it feels fresh and clean and modern, and so we just kind of love the look of it, and we really like how it looks on our truck. Now to cover a few things that we think could be a little bit better. With any camper, you're going to have things that aren't perfect, and especially like with Scout, we got one of the first Scout campers that they produced, so there's obviously going to be some little things here and there, and we just want to make sure that we're sharing some of those things with y'all as well. While we love the rooftop tent and we would choose to get it again, it is a little bit cumbersome to set up, and it can take maybe like 20 minutes to set it up when we get to camp, so we don't always set it up, but the setup process can be a little bit cumbersome. So you have to pop it, and then you have to clip in the fabric and Velcro things, and like, it's just kind of not the simplest setup, and so that keeps us from popping it up all the time. But we have the earlier option for the rooftop tent. Scout has now gone with a different rooftop tent option, which I believe is simpler and faster to set up, so I think they've already kind of fixed this.
Yeah, I think a lot of the things that we're going to mention here, they have already fixed. So,
or are aware of and are working on,
yeah,
that sort of thing.
Yeah, so that's one really cool thing we like about Scout is they do take customer feedback really well and try to improve their product quickly. So we're always providing feedback. I know a lot of other Scout owners are, and they're always looking at improving things.
So another thing with the Lifesaver jerry can, which we use for our water, we really like having the jerry can, but it does drip a little bit. So where you push to get the water to come out after you're done filling up your water bottle or whatever, it will continue to drip. And even if you have the hose attachment on it, which we don't have anymore, it will still kind of drip and leak a little bit. So we usually just have like a paper towel or something sitting under it. It's not a big deal, but it is one of those little things that could be a little bit better.
Yeah, and this is a known issue with Lifesaver jerry cans. You hear a lot of complaints from different travelers about the little bit of leak, and it's just something you have with the pressurized container. So
the next thing I think we already mentioned in our original camper tour video, but the mattress that comes with the Scout was a bit firm for our taste. So we just added a 2-inch memory foam topper on top of it, and now we sleep great in it. But just something to be aware of if you're waiting on your Scout and you don't like firm mattresses.
As we mentioned, the Scout is a very simple camper. One of the storage setups is underneath the dinette table. There are just 2 open cubbies, and they're pretty deep. So we were always putting shoes in there, and they'd shift all the way to the back of the storage cubby, and we'd have to lay down and fish them out. So we actually ended up building 2 drawers to go in those spots, which we have a whole nother video on if you want to see how we did that. But that has made it a lot more useful. So we actually used one of the drawers for our kitty litter, and the other drawer is kind of like a junk drawer with a bunch of different gear in it, and it's been really nice to have.
I think it's one of the best modifications you can make to the Olympic. Just that space is so much more useful now, and it's nice being able to hide the kitty litter away and roll it out when Walker asks for it. So yeah, it's been really handy.
The last thing on our list is it can be challenging to balance in the summertime needing to charge your battery and be out in the sun to gain the solar power versus trying to keep the camper cool and wanting to be in the shade. So when we were camping this summer with Walker and it was, almost 100 degrees out, camper would get really toasty if we were out in the sun, but I was also having to work, so we needed battery power to charge my computer and hotspot and everything. So we were trying to balance it, and it is a little tough because these campers do heat up pretty hot in the sun. The nice thing is with the big windows, if you open them up, have some breeze going, they do remain fairly cool, especially if you can be in the shade. So if you don't need the solar power at the time, parking in the shade and the heat is pretty effective. Like, we can keep the windows open, have some fans going, and it stays reasonably cool in here.
Yeah, and I would say it takes time for it to heat up, so it does hold the cooler temperatures for a good amount of time, but like by late afternoon, if we're sitting in the sun the whole time, and it can get just a little toasty in here. So overall, we love our Scout, and we tell anybody who asks us that we absolutely love it. It fits our needs perfectly for what we've been doing this past year, and it really hasn't held us back from going down any trails that we were wanting to go down.
Yeah, and the overall construction of it is really solid. So we've hit some pretty large bumps going kind of fast, and we don't see any structural damage or any wear and tear on it. Overall, it's been solid.
We do get a lot of questions about the top heaviness, which on the highway we hardly notice that it's on the back of our truck. When we are taking a turn, if you're taking it fast, like, you'll feel a little wobble, but it's nothing that's ever been too concerning. And even on some of the rough, gnarly trails that we've been on, as long as we take it slow, like, we've not been concerned about tipping or the ratchet straps failing on us. So it's been pretty reliable.
Yeah, overall, I thought the wobbliness was going to be way worse with this camper with how tall it is, but with how lightweight it is, it's not that bad. It's way better than I was expecting it to be.
So with all that said, we have our exciting update for you, which we promised at the beginning of the video, and we are actually selling our camper and truck.
But we are upgrading to the larger Scout camper, the Kenai, and getting a new truck. So we love this camper so much that we've decided to go full-time on the road and live in the camper. And when we decided to go full-time on the road, we figured we might as well upgrade to the larger camper so we had a little bit more living space inside. This camper has been a great setup for us. We've done a couple 4 to 5 week trips, and it's been fairly comfortable. But now that we want to go full-time on the road, we figured, why not go to the larger camper so we have a little bit more space.
Yeah, and not just living space, but also storage space. So we're doing quite a bit of work to the truck, and we're actually going to put a flatbed on it so we can build some custom storage boxes on the side to give us more exterior storage, and then with the Kenai we'll also have more interior storage, and we'll be able to live a little bit more comfortably than we would living full-time in the Olympic. But this Olympic has been great for what we've done the past year. We've absolutely loved it, and if we didn't love it, we wouldn't be sticking with Scout.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to do a full build series of our next setup, so if you want to follow along, please subscribe. If you want to see things in a little bit more real time, then head over to our Instagram, which is @themortels. We tend to post there a little bit more frequently than YouTube videos, so if you want to keep up a little bit more, that would be a great place to follow along.
But yeah, we're excited to share our journey in preparing for full-time life on the road, which we're super excited about. So yeah. And I think Granger is excited too. Walker, I don't know if he realizes what the plan is.
Yeah. He's gonna not have his bougie kitty litter anymore. Here, especially with the Newport Dickinson fan, or Newport Dickinson.
Granger.
No.
Hey. Granger.
No. Lay down and go back to sleep. Go to sleep. Lay down.
She knows you said the wrong word.
I know.
Another thing we love about the Scout was also in fudge.
More indoor living space.
Yeah, and
Oh, forget what I said.
I forget too.